let's start with the story. Let's see what's going on over at military.com. They say China sends aircraft carrier near Japan, Taiwan, as U.S. Navy struggles with coronavirus. Now, the way I see this is, you got to, I think everybody wants to be very careful about how they phrase things.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm obviously way over the top in my title. Like, it's the end. Like, literally just a boat passing by and people wave to each other. But there's escalating tensions that have been going on for a really long time, especially in the South China Sea.
Yeah.
And it's not just physical war, it's cultural war. I can't remember what movie it was. I think this was like a Pixar film. It was like a viral thing where like a little girl walks past a map, and then the map shows the South China Sea has dotted lines around it, which is China's claim to the South China Sea. And it was in like a Disney film.
Yeah, I forgot. They went back and changed it in a kid's movie.
Yeah, what movie was that?
I forget.
I'm
What, they
they,
like added it after the fact?
Yeah, they went back and changed
Seriously?
the map for
because they were
China.
using Chinese animators, and so they were like, China says ours. So it's this is what people have to understand about the moves that are happening in this region, that they lasered us. You know, apparently like showing they have us locked on target or whatever. They sank a fishing vessel. They've been doing that.
Yeah, when did that happen? I didn't
That was like a
hear
week
about
ago,
that.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
We
they
talked
sank-
about it. They sank a Vietnamese fishing vessel.
Right.
So, I mean, tensions are there. And now with the U.S. Theodore Roosevelt evacuating all of these personnel because of COVID, and the tensions with the commander of the ship or the captain or whatever, there's these are all moves meant to like poke and prod. So this is the story, right? They say that China sends an aircraft carrier. You got to understand, at least as far as I can tell, and I'm not like an expert on what China is doing, but it feels like a prod.
I
It
agree.
feels like they just flicked our ear. Like, what are you going to do about it? You gonna do anything?
Or
You
just
know what I
like
mean?
taking taking one step over the line.
Yep.
And then seeing what we do. Oh, you're not doing anything? All right, I'll fully stand here now. I'm not going back. I'm just pushing a little further in. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
There's a mosquito.
Oh no, you gonna kill it?
No, I couldn't. He got away.
I'll see if I can get him.
All right.
The UFO will get him.
Yeah, the UFO will get him. All right, check this out. They say Japan and Taiwan kept watch on the Chinese aircraft carrier Liaoning and its strike group as they streamed through the Miyako Strait and past Taiwan over the weekend, according to the Japanese Ministry of Defense and published reports Monday. The Liaoning and 5 accompanying warships passed through the 155-mile wide strait halfway between the Japanese islands of Okinawa and Miyako on Saturday, turned south and passed east of Taiwan on Sunday, according to reports. The strait is wide enough to qualify as an international waterway. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force tracked the Chinese aircraft carrier, 2 guided missile destroyers, 2 multi-role warships, and 1 supply-class fast combat support ship as they passed 262 miles southwest of Nagasaki's Danjo Islands about 7 p.m. Friday, according to a Defense Ministry Joint Staff official.
Whoa, that's more than just
It's just-
one aircraft
right.
carrier that I thought it was.
It was
man.
a strike group.
Yeah.
I don't. So is it a show of force?
That's what it seems a little
we
bit like.
responded.
Yeah.
Like we did what they call. What you mentioned, it was like an elephant walk.
An elephant walk.
Yeah, we were like, look at our guns.
Well, actually, I don't know. I've read into this, and I don't know if it was a response to this. I mean, that does make sense timing wise, but it also makes sense that they had to take everything off the ship because the ship was coronavirus basically.
Oh, yeah,
They got it, so they had to like take everything off.
So when was this? So the elephant walk. This was the 13th, and the report of the China destroyer. This was the 13th as well. It's happening at the same time.
Same time, yeah, exactly.
So it's not just China going like trying to make you flinch.
Yeah, I think
we're
it's
both doing it to each other. We're both
Yeah.
like lunging at each other.
flexing it.
Yeah.
What you got? What you
You,
got?
you ever have somebody like lunge at you real quick, try to make you flinch?
Yeah, I
Like
see
2
that.
dudes
Yeah.
at the same time, then they bunk their heads. That's what it seems like.
You think we'll get lucky and they'll just knock each other out?
Yeah,
That wouldn't be lucky.
World War III.
Because then the third party nearby is going to freak out and fire a missile, and then all of a sudden everyone's firing missiles, and then everyone's lost their minds.
Well, I guess the fight wouldn't happen because they would just knock each other out, headbutt.
No, but it would be like 2 guys flinching at each other, but with like 30 guys behind them gearing up to fight.
Yeah.
And then when they both get hit, the other people have no idea who hit who, so they go and they start swinging and punching each
Yeah.
other. And
Well, in that situation, it sounds bad.
Yeah, it does not sound good.
all right, check this out. Here's what they say. Around 4 p.m. Saturday, the carrier and its group streamed through the strait. According to the official, some Japanese government spokespersons traditionally speak under the condition of anonymity. We continuously checked those ships by sea and air, the official said. The Taiwanese Navy also sent ships from Suao to monitor the strike group as it passed the island on Sunday, according to the South China Morning Post, which cited the Taiwan Ministry of Defense. The 6 vessels sailed east of Taiwan, according to the Japanese outlet Sankei News, which also cited the Taiwan Defense Ministry. The Liaoning is the only aircraft carrier currently in the Western Pacific. However, the USS America, a smaller amphibious assault ship that carries F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters, is underway in the East China Sea, according to its official Facebook page. Okay, they announced on Facebook, we're heading there to the sea. The U.S. carriers Theodore Roosevelt and Ronald Reagan are in port, both dealing to some extent with the novel coronavirus. The Roosevelt is sidelined in Guam, where much of the crew are undergoing isolation to stem a coronavirus outbreak.
Yeah, that's where the Elephant Walk is, in Guam. So that makes sense.
Yeah, so maybe they're doing it because the ship's
It's a twofer.
crippled, basically. So they're like, we want to flex our muscles.
Yeah, look what we got. Don't mess with us.
That sounds like, it sounds pretty obvious that, you know what I mean? Like, it's like a dude with a broken leg flexing his muscle, like, look how strong I am. It's like, dude, your leg's busted.
Yeah, but
we know.
chase me. I'm running away with your stuff. Now what?
I'm running away with your stuff.
Your leg's broken.
Check this out. So this was the story that was reported the other day. U.S. Navy evacuates over 80% of USS Theodore Roosevelt crew as nearly 600 carrier sailors test positive coronavirus. So this is brought up in the story. They say, as of Sunday, 4,309 Roosevelt crew members had been tested for the virus, of which 585 tested positive. According to a Navy update, about 400 sailors awaited testing.
Do they have that many crew members at one time? 4,000?
That's a huge group
of
people.
I don't know if they're all stationed at the same time. You know, they could have like revolving.
4,800.
4,800 at one time.
Yeah.
Man.
Is that it? 4,800?
So
Wow,
4,800
that's a
crew
big
on
ship.
it's huge. Yeah.
And how many how many carriers do we have? Like
We have
20?
11.
We have 11?
Yeah.
Oh, we had more than that.
This surprised me to learn. We have, it seems like very few aircraft carriers. So
Yeah, but
I
no
think-
one else has more than one, right?
I know, but I think this is why the captain was such a big deal when he was talking about how weakened they were.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's-
does
that kinda
this
makes
it says
sense.
here the smaller amphibious assault ship that carries the F-35B Lightning II stealth
Ooh.
fighters. That sounds like a aircraft carrier, but they don't say it.
Right.
So maybe they're not considering all of
Amphibious?
the ships that have, you know,
Do they-
aircraft as considered aircraft carriers,
Right,
or do you
right,
have to
right.
like carry a certain set
Yeah, I think
amount?
it has to be a certain
I don't know.
number.
Also,
Yeah, I feel like
does this
you're right. I feel like we got to have more than 11.
But
Although
does, like,
you think about what they are, they're
but wait.
epic
So big,
Does this
yeah.
amphibious
units.
does this amphibious ship go underwater
Yeah,
with
what does that mean,
jet
amphibious?
fighters on it?
let's
Like
see.
I
in
don't
it?
know.
That's really weird.
Makes me
It sounds
think
like a
of
fantastic
the,
voyage of some sort.
Avengers movie,
Yeah.
whatever they got. Though the shield flyer / island.
Yeah, I know, right?
They say the positive cases aboard the Roosevelt account for more than half of the total 890 sailors who have tested positive for the virus across the Navy. Meanwhile, the Reagan, undergoing maintenance in its home port of Yokosuka Naval Base since November, is preparing for deployment. Officials with Task Force 70, the battle force of the 7th Fleet, in a post Sunday to its official Facebook page, said sailors of the task force are undergoing 14 days of sequestration prior to departing on patrol. More than 1,000 sailors assigned to the Reagan and its accompanying strike group were bussed to Yokota Air Base and Naval Air Facility Atsugi over 4 days last week to sequester themselves prior to deployment, according to the Task Force 70 post. So the other thing we're seeing here, U.S. flexes its military strength with elephant walk of B-52 bombers and drones in Guam.
Yeah, look at them.
After
They're cool
China
looking.
takes advantage of U.S. aircraft carrier being crippled by coronavirus.
Dude,
They have photos
yeah.
of this?
Yeah.
Oh,
my
wow,
gosh.
dude.
Yeah, look how sick that looks.
These are B-52s?
Yeah.
So cool.
Wow. Those are old, though, aren't they?
I don't know if the ships themselves are old.
No, the B-52s.
I mean, they could be new B-52s with
I guess, yeah.
same
Some
style
drones.
aircraft, but
We got Navy MH-60S
So cool.
Nighthawks, U.S. Air
Nighthawks.
Force RQ-4 Global Hawk, Navy MQ-4C Triton Air Force B-52 Stratofortresses. So I guess
Jeez.
they're like new.
that's awesome.
Did you know that we
a strato fortress? Come on,
is so cool.
Let's just talk about how great that word is.
What a great
Do you
name.
know that
Anyway, moving
we,
on.
we developed a new gravity bomb like several years ago. Like,
Really?
it was a big story, and I remember. I think this may be like even 6 or 7 years ago at this point. It's been a while, but gravity bombs are they're nukes you just drop. Like the original bombs that we dropped on in Japan.
Yeah.
It's a gravity bomb. You just fly it over and you drop it. And it blows up.
Unguided, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then since then we've developed intercontinental ballistic missiles and multiple independently targeting reentry vehicles with multiple
yeah.
warheads. But we made this. It's a megaton bomb and it was really, really small.
Okay.
So I'd imagine these bombers have. I don't know. Maybe
I'm sure they're
look,
capable.
I'll put it this way. Even
Yeah.
if I'll tell you what, if you came to me and said, "Tim, here's a press report saying they don't have any nuclear gravity bomb capabilities, I'd be like, I don't believe you.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
no.
I wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't believe
Check
it.
this out. So they have a map, actually. Look at this. The Elephant Walk came just days after China sent its aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, and fighter jets close to Taiwan. So you can see where the USS Ronald Reagan, this little tiny amphibious thing, is that what it is? And the Theodore Roosevelt, they have it on this map. I think this map is not scaled properly.
Yeah, I think
You know.
Guam's way further south, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why it's in this weird little window box.
Right.
Yeah.
But, China sailing a strike force past Taiwan.
Yeah, what does it
Interesting.
mean? Like, why?
I don't know.
What are they moving it out there for?
Show
Positioning.
of force.
I
I mean,
think so.
positioning.
Saber-rattling.
Yeah,
That's the thing,
Right.
too. It's like,
Is it a show of force, or are they positioning for something?
Why not both?
yeah.
Why not both?
I mean,
Who makes the first strike in any kind of conventional warfare? That's the really interesting question.
Yeah.
And why would they do it? So some people are tweeting, a bit hyperbolic, China has sank a U.S. aircraft carrier or disabled or whatever. Some people are actually saying sank. And they're saying that they're exaggerating to an absurd degree. But with the coronavirus, and how they lied, and the World Health Organization, also lied, they're saying China did this, and they've disabled, an aircraft
They did,
carrier by
yeah.
doing it.
that's a big deal.
So if their numbers are legit, like China says, we only have 2,000 who have died because they're authoritarian lockdown and they barricaded people in their homes, I don't believe them. But
Do the deaths that happen from barricading people in, do you think that should be considered a coronavirus death, even
Well,
though they
people-
don't die from coronavirus? Because they're opening the doors and people are dead, right?
that's the issue with the authoritarian communist countries.
right.
They'll
Hard
be
to
like,
tell.
these are not coronavirus dead. We killed them.
Yeah, we killed them.
Yeah.
We killed them.
Got the middleman.
We don't need to report those numbers to you.
Those are not coronavirus related. We did it.
It felt like someone had to say it.
That's actually the North Korea joke. They were like, there's a fake Kim Jong Un on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, at North Korea COVID cases 1, and then it was like,
3 hours later,
yeah, 0. 3 hours later 1, 3 hours later 0.
Yeah.
That sounds like what they would do.
Terrible.
But so Donald Trump has announced, this is actually the big breaking news, but I'm really just so over all the COVID stuff, to be honest. Like, we have a segment prepared, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, this is interesting.
Well, that Trump's
What
suspending.
you just pulled up. Yeah.
Yeah, check this out. You want to read it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, man.
Donald Trump freezes all U.S. funding for the World Health Organization, accusing it of accelerating the pandemic by opposing his partial ban on travel from China and putting political correctiveness above life-saving. That's interesting because throughout all of this, the WHO does seem to be a puppet of China.
Totally.
It feels like they're catering to China's
Japan.
every whim.
Japan said it.
It's
Called them the Chinese Health Organization.
yeah, it's not the World Health Organization. It's like, I don't understand why they have said what they've said. Like, they're the ones who are like, don't wear
I don't know.
masks, don't worry about it.
You know, I'll tell you what I think it is.
It doesn't spread from person to person. Really?
Right,
Where did you
yeah.
get that information
Well,
from?
China said so.
Oh, China told you. Thanks
Yep.
for letting us know.
yeah.
WHO.
And so, why would any organization do that? Why would the NBA do it? Why are companies bending over for China?
Money.
They're placing a bet. Who they think wins out in the end.
Yikes.
Ooh, I don't like that.
That should never be a consideration. Like, I'll say it right now. I would never bend the knee for China. But these companies do. You know why? A part of them says, hey, man, China might win whatever's going on. We want to make sure we're on the right side. We're on the right side of, It's kind of like they don't want to. Well, I'll put it this way. There should never be a circumstance in which you doubt your own country.
Okay.
Where you actually think you're going to lose, so you're going to go side with the enemy.
Yeah.
That's
kind
insane.
Of treasonous, isn't it?
Well, for now, we're not at war with China, although I think there's probably some kind of like shadow or cyber war going on for sure.
Yeah.
But as long as there's no official declaration, but I'll tell you what,
There's no war in the traditional sense.
right.
Right.
If there was,
This is a new world we live in, though. Yeah, it's not ever going to be the same. Like you said, there's not going to be troops on the ground. It's not going to be us fighting them. Ha! Let's fight with knives.
Maybe.
Like,
Hopefully not.
look, man,
I don't see it happening.
People who fight on the front line still carry knives, right?
you're right. That's true.
You ever watch
But what are the front lines? When has there been like two countries going at it like at war?
like we are in Afghanistan?
I know, but that's not necessarily the same.
Right,
That's
right,
us
right.
going there and like
Saudi Arabia and
imposing
Yemen.
ourselves, essentially. I don't know a lot of details on all that, so it's hard for me to even talk on that. But
when it comes down to complete desperation,
Yeah.
something will happen. I mean,
you called this 2 months ago.
Yeah, right.
called what?
That China was going to use this because their backs are against the wall and they're either going to go to war or ask for help.
But we're not there yet.
I know.
Right, for sure.
I know we're not there yet, but it doesn't seem like they're going to ask for help. They're pushing. They're pushing us
because they think they're strong, and so they're like, dude. They have been pushing on the South China Sea for a long time, and no one has done anything about it. Oh, we flex our muscles, and they put their toe over the line, and they look at us, and then we flex our muscles, and then they step over the line, and we flex our muscles, and they keep doing it.
Yep.
That's what they've been doing. They just sank a Vietnamese fishing vessel. We talked about it last week. No one did anything about it. They've got a concentration camp full of Uyghur Muslims. No one doing anything about it. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.